Hello guys, welcome back to the software testing tips and tricks channel. So in this video we will talk about how to do authentication in the Playwright. So authentication is very critical aspect of the any of the automation script. Like when you are learning the automation, that time it is fine. Like you are just starting one page and logging it and going further in the script. But when you are writing the scripts in organization or in your company, so you have to write multiple test cases, and in multiple test cases, like every time you need to authenticate. So Playwright provides one good feature, like just need to authenticate once, and other test will automatically pick up that authentication, and you can use it. So in this video I will explain this basic shared account in all tests. So you can create one basic shared authentication, and you can share it across all the tests. So whenever tests start running, it won't take login flow again, and it will be automatically logged in when you start it. So let's start. So in first of all, what you need to do is, like in Playwright, you need to put this command make directory playwright.auth, and you need to echo it. So what you are doing is, like when you do that in Playwright, here dot auth directory will be created, and everything related to auth will be put in the authentication. So mostly we will use the cookies and sessions, those are created, and we will store it there. So we can use that for that. Now once this auth is created, right, what you need to do is you need to create a setup file, and in that setup file we will do the setup, like we will do the login. So for that I have picked one practice login website. So there you can practice the login. So this is the practice login file. So if you, so this is already logged in, so I am just logging out. So now here you can do the practice of login. So it has one site like practice username, and this is password that we need to enter. And once we enter that, it will redirect it to dot slash secure, and it will say you that you are logged in. So if you are logged out and you will try that secure URL directly, it won't open. So in this video I will show you, like if I have logged in once, and after that, like in all the test cases, it will directly you will find it in logged in state. Like when I put this URL, it will automatically logged in. So not you won't get this URL, it will give that it is logged in. So for that in our example test file, that automatically gets generated, right? There I have put this secure URL that I just saw, and I am taking the screenshot of it. So I am removing currently existing screenshots. So now when I run it, what I should get is already logged in state. For that I need to create one authentication setup file. So first step is what you need to do. Once you have done this directory, you have created .auth directory, right? Here now once this auth directory is created, you just need to create auth.setup.ts file that I have created. So let's understand like what this file looks like. So in auth.setup.ts, basically you are doing the setup for login. So for that you just whatever the playwright script we are writing same way, but you need to get the auth file for user.json. So that file will be automatically created at this in the .auth directory. So you need to use that. Now you need to use this command setup. So in setup the way we use test, right, you need to use setup, and in setup you can authenticate, you can give any name of that setup, and you can get the page object. And once page object you get, like you can use all the methods of page object. So you can go to that URL and find the locator of username, password, and submit button, and provide the username and password. So here I have directly provided username password. So in practical, if there are test users or dedicated to your testing only, then it will be fine. But mostly what how you use username and password is either you store in separate file, or most and from there you can get this. Like if I have created authentication file, so whenever username or password change, you just need to change that, and you can get it here using that from that file. And best way is to add in the environment variables, and from that environment variables pick it, so it will be more secure. But you need to get like how your use case is, and you can provide username and password here and click on submit button. And once submitted, you can wait for the URL, like whatever URL it is getting redirected, because it sometimes it saves cookies and sometimes it will take time. And after that you can just validate it, like if it actually you are able to log in or not. So once I am login, I am just validating here, like in practice super password. So I am just validating this text. I am automatically logged in. So this is how I know like I got logged in. And after that, this is the very important thing. So what we need to do is we need to store the state of this context. So page.context.store state will get the context of that, and we are storing it into the user.json file. So you can test this setup by running here. So you can just run it and just see like if it is authenticated. So you can test it. So okay, this is fine and this is passed. That means this is my setup is my working. So once this setup done, so you don't need to run it every time manually. What you need to do is you need to put into playwright.config.ts. So once you go to the playwright.config.ts, under projects, here you need to put your setup. So this is the setup I have created, and I am adding all the setup files star slash dot setup. So file that contains the name setup, I am adding that. And for the chromium, I am using this device, chrome device. This is same, but I am using storage state. So if in user.json, what we have stored here, right? So here in our setup.ts, we have store in the user.json file. So that state I am picking here in my playwright config file and using that store status. So what is happening now, you are getting right. So once I do the login, it will that state will be stored in the user.json, and that state we will use in the test. And we are putting dependency as setup. So whenever you are executing any of the file, you are putting dependency setup. So it will before running the test, it will go run the setup. So same for the Firefox also, I have put this dependency. So whenever I running in Chromium and Firefox, I will automatically get logged in site. So let's start running now. So in terminal, so when I am running this npx playwright test ts, so you will notice like it will running 5 out of 4. First, like it started with authenticate. So I am just running example spec.ts only. So in my example spec.ts, I don't have anything. I just have created two tests, and in two tests I am putting just taking the screenshot. But because we have added in config ts this dependency of setup file, it will run that setup first, and after that it will run our test cases. So all 4 test cases it has run in Chrome and Firefox as well, and it has created this screenshot. So in screenshot you are seeing like it automatically logged inside you are getting. So both of the tests, that means this both of the tests already logged in. When we hit that URL, it is already logged in. But if you directly hit this URL, if you go here like in new incognito mode and directly put this secure, it will say that it is not authenticated. But if both the tests, we got the authentication. So now if you are writing tens of tests, all the tens of tests will be authenticated state. So it will save so much time, as well as it is more reliable to test the website with login session. So now what we need to know is like it has few limitations. So first of all, I am telling like how it works with UI as well. So when we run with the UI, so there what is happening is like first time when you run that, then in filters, right, it will, you will get only setup dot this one, and if you try to run it, it won't run. So you, because it has dependency, so you need to run this example, you need to remove this setup, and you need to do this example spec.ts, and then you need to run that. So it will by default run this auth.setup.ts before running all this step. So we know like this is now working, so I'm just closing it. It will run Chromium and Firefox as well. So now one more thing you want to know, like in user.json, it will create this kind of JSON file, and it has all the sessions are get stored here. So if you have removed this, and if you run like run first time, it will automatically create it and then run it. So I am just trying to delete it, and now I am running this. So now this is running authentication our file, and after that it will run the our test cases. So now it has automatically created this user.json, and it will saved all the state of the login. So this is how it will work. So once when you do the setup, that time user.json won't be there, only you have .auth setup .auth directory, and once you run that, it will create it, because you have mentioned here to create this file, auth file, and you are storing session there in auth file user.json. So it will create one user.json, and it will put your auth detail there. So I think this is pretty much you understand. Now the most important thing you want to know is like when to use this. So we are using this basic shared account in all tests, right? So when to use, so when you can imagine all your tests running at the same time with the same account without affecting each other. So here like what we are doing is we are using one username password, and all the parallel sessions, like whatever the test we are using, right, all the tests are running in the with the same account. So it should not interact with each other or interfere with each other on that way. And when not to use, like your test modifies some server side state. For example, one test checks rendering of setting page, and another page goes another test goes and change some settings, right? So it will create issue at the server side. So those kind of things it won't work. Also your authentication is browser specific. So if your authentication is browser in Firefox also it works, and Safari it is not working or something like that, then that case also it won't work, because we are using same setup file. So this is one of the limitation it has. And UI mode we already checked. Now this moderate one I will explain in next video, and I will create one specific video for this moderate one, and advanced scenarios for API request I will create that. One more thing you need to know is like if you don't want to authenticate in one of the tests, right, if you are by default authenticated doing authentication in all the state, but in one of the test case you don't want to authenticate, right, then you can use test.use, and you can clear the cookie, like you are not using any cookies there. So let's try it. I also didn't try that. So go to example spec.ts, and in second test I don't want to use that login session, and now let's try running it. So it is creating again authenticating file, and after that it will use same authentication in all the test cases. But in second one we are not using that cookies, so it should not use that. So here see, you get that you must log in to view the secure area. So it didn't log in, but in login one it should use the login. So I think it will okay. So when you use this, right, test.use store cookie and origin, so it won't allow any of the test to use that login. So if you have more like test that has So if you have written this in so if you have written this in like a describe and this as test, so if few of the tests you don't want to use, then you can clear that out. So this is how you clear. But if you know more like when it will clear all, and if you want to clear for specific test, how you do that, feel free to comment it. And currently how you are managing your authentication with current automation setup you are using, let me know in the comments. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask. And thank you for watching the full video. Please subscribe our channel and also share it to QA, other QA members as well. And don't forget to follow on our social medias. Thank you.